Because in Florida, it is against the law to mislead and to misrepresent, particularly when you're talking about the efficacy of a drug. We see just recently, Florida got $3.2 billion through legal action against those responsible for the opioid crisis. And so it's not like this is something that's unprecedented. So today, I'm announcing a petition with the Supreme Court of Florida to impanel a statewide grand jury to investigate any and all wrongdoing in Florida with respect to COVID-19 vaccines.
There's Ron DeSantis, who apparently has some weird gimmicky background of a bunch of people on Zoom calls. Anytime you have to do things like this, it means that your substance is probably garbage, because we need visual aids so people think, look at all these people behind me, they have my back. So he has this whole panel where he's gonna more investigations, another investigation, and then third investigation into all the wrongdoing surrounding that COVID vaccine. F all of the nearly 1 million people that we lost to it, whatever, not a big deal. He was joined by his physician and Surgeon General Joseph Ladapo to talk about this whole thing, because they're setting up how much of a badass they are and how they're against the CDC. Let's let them talk more.
Do you want to talk about what you found with the data in Florida, looking at folks and the myocarditis?
Yeah, it's like, how many different ways do you want to say the same thing? So Joe here, Joseph, Dr. Freeman, we've got two Joes here, just shared their study that basically found that the risk with these mRNA COVID-19 vaccines is just much higher. It's not in the same ballpark as any of the other widely used vaccines.
It's not the same as with these widely used vaccines, any vaccine. So more details, because they're trying to push this whole thing as they're the true purveyors of truth when it comes to vaccines. Here's those details. A further appeal to vaccine skeptics. Mr. DeSantis announced he was setting up a public health integrity committee in Florida to act as an anti-CDC to harm more people. Mr. DeSantis' office announced they would pursue aggressive actions to hold the federal government and Big Pharma accountable after hosting a roundtable with Florida Surgeon General, that guy, Joseph Ladapo, and other doctors, researchers, and public health experts on Tuesday. Isn't it weird though how now they're going after Big Pharma when they had no issues with Big Pharma, as we just mentioned in the story earlier, about how the price gouging that comes from developments that come from our taxpayer money and our research, and then once it gets in the hands of some big pharma corporation, we then buy it again at an extraordinary increase in price. Now, Ron DeSantis has an issue with big pharma because there was a vaccine developed, and he has an opportunity to promote himself politically more. Again, he doesn't give a damn about any of this stuff. Again, he's on this hard anti-vax thing. I think that's what he thinks is gonna propel him to the presidency. He says the federal government and medical associations and other experts have created this expectation that receiving the COVID-19 vaccine is an ethical or civic duty, and that choosing not to get vaccinated against COVID-19 is selfish and harmful to others. If you guys have been hearing this, if you feel like you got deja vu, so do I. How is this gonna work? I've been wrong before, Jordan. I think maybe he's onto something. Maybe he realized he's tapping into the pulse of America, and everyone's just waiting to figure out, we need some research into this whole thing and an anti-CDC, and I'm gonna vote for Ron DeSantis over it. That's the plan.
That's not going to scale nationally. There's just no way. Enough people throughout the country, especially even on the right, have gotten vaccinated and know it does make a difference. He's pandering to like the most fringe people in Florida, who are just have their brains fried from the sun. They're like, it's not going to scale nationally. There's no way. So I think he'll eventually give this up, especially once if he does enter the national spotlight, he starts getting donations from Pfizer and Moderna. Suddenly he's not going to care as much anymore. The parallel to the opioid crisis could not be more offensive. Like these made up stories, time and time again, people have made these like bogus claims that people are dying from the vaccines. It's just not true. And it's safe. A couple people have had side effects from like different shots, but we're out of time, but I wish I could go on because I have some things to say.
No, if you have another thought, that's fine.
We're getting the countdown.
It's okay. I'm on John's show next anyway. No, there's one thing you said though that's a big deal on that, as He's trying to do it nationally, but then it's one of those things that he'll push, and then as soon as it gets that pushback, or he's hit that dead end, like he did with the Disney thing with their tax haven situation they have there that they pay all those taxes for, and he had a big event on Fox News, and he said, "I'm coming for Disney." And then once he won the election and he's not coming for Disney, all those things are getting reeled back. It's gonna be the same thing with this. It's promotion, and it's all empty. Ron DeSantis has no policies. He has a bunch of bluster. He learned it from his favorite guy, Donald Trump, who now he's whooping in these preliminary polls. Just saying.